Tim, should we tell the listeners how to join the Golfweek Amateur Tour?
Yes, of course. We should probably do it now before we forget, though.
I agree. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.
And remember, this podcast can be found on all the major platforms. So make sure you like, download, and share it with all your friends and family.
Chris, that's a great idea. Now, on to the show. Welcome back, Chris. We are in the home stretch in August. We've got only a few more weeks left of the regular season and the national championship.
Yeah, it's the end, close to the end of the ride for at least 2024. But it's been, I think at this point, as directors, we're probably getting a little tired, but going to keep trucking through and can't wait for nationals. Already booked a place to stay, booked the flights, and now I got to book the game.
There you go.
Make sure I take that with me.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be fine. We've got a good episode this week. We're talking to some St. Louis members that are doing some really good stuff in the junior golf space, and I think we're finally going to get the how to play penalty areas properly.
Correctly. Right.
Correctly.
I don't think it's the last time, but I think we're getting closer.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's go and get it started.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast. Talking about all things Golfweek Amateur Tour, including interviews with tour directors, players, and course pros. Now, here are your hosts, Atlanta Tour Director Tim Newman and El Paso Las Cruces Director Chris Rocha.
Chris, it's good to see you. Yeah, you mentioned that tour directors are looking tired. I hope that wasn't directed at me and how I'm looking now. Okay.
No, I'm tired. A lot of traveling, but I think I'm done with the traveling until October. Thank God.
Okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. I got TPC Scottsdale, and then it's nationals, and I mean that's always the fun one because you get to travel. Well, for me, I get to travel across the country. You got to travel across the street,
a couple miles.
Yeah, but it's fun, man, and being able to finally take my wife down there and see the circus that is national championship. I think she's gonna have a blast, and a bunch of wives that are coming from my tour are excited because they get to hang out with each other and go to the beach and do all of that. So it's gonna be a good time.
It's awesome that number one, I'm glad you bring your wife, but it's awesome that some of your players will bring wives as well.
Yeah,
for those that have never been. It's a lot of families do make this a family vacation. There's so much to do. The weather's great, and Hilton Head is really just a fun place to be.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be interesting though because I've got in the house we're staying in. I have me, B flighter, a C flighter, and a D flighter. So trying to figure out that transportation is gonna be interesting every morning.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to find a ride back to the main area for after the round because I can't be going around and picking everybody up as well.
No. Well, here's the solution, though. They just get better and all move to the B flight.
I completely agree. But at that point, I'll be in the A flight. So
it's not going to matter anyway.
Right. It'll be, but at least it'll just be two different courses instead of three different courses. They're going to have to plan it's going to be a Google map printed out with a highlighter of what road I need to take just to make a big circle.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. I wasn't thinking about that, when you showed me the places that you were looking at. But, I don't know which one of those places you took, but you can't go wrong with either one, obviously.
Right.
Honestly.
No, I agree. And it's right by this plaza area that I don't think I've ever been, but it looks real nice. So I'm excited to kind of, explore. We're going to have a couple days with just to ourselves. I usually don't play practice rounds, that Thursday, kind of let my body heal. So we'll explore the town a little more than what I've done in the past.
Yeah, that area down there, again, there are a lot of shops, a ton of shops down there.
Which is scary, too.
Well,
if I'm not there and she's got the card.
I'd watch out for that. For me, there are a couple of my favorites. down there. One's a fudge shop.
Okay.
Okay. And there's another one. It's called Pops.
Uh-huh.
And they've got all kinds of candy in there.
Oh, no.
I'm not a big candy person. I'm really not. But they have candy like by decades, going back to like to the 40s and 50s. So you could, yeah. So,
I don't know if I trust that being good still.
Well, it's new. It's not actually from there. It's a type of candy. And you're probably too young to remember Necco's.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Yeah. It's like a little wafer. And my granddaughter was with us, a few weeks ago. So I took her down to the candy shop and I got a little thing of Necco's. That's the first time I've had them in forever. But I mean, you can go in there and just, pretty much any kind of candy that's ever been made, they have in that shop. It's
called Pops?
It's called Pops. Yep. Called Pops.
All right. So some free advertising for Pops and Hilton Head. Check it out.
See? So let's talk about national championship again. Just on another level. Registration opened August 1st for those in the top 10 of each flight. Any idea who the first registrant was?
I don't, and I know it wasn't me because I haven't registered yet. But I don't know.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I just
you waiting to get in the top 10 or what?
No, I'm number one, sir. Settle down there. I think I don't know. Well, the way I played my last event, I might have not, but I believe I'm number one. And you know what? Now you got me checking, and I shouldn't be doing this while we're trying to record. But yeah, still number one by less than 100 points.
Okay.
Oof.
Well, you better tighten it up.
That's a tight one right there.
You better tighten it up.
I'll win the next event.
The very first person to register for the national championship this year is Andrew Borovets, a D-flight player from Atlanta.
Nice. You all do have a 2-hour advantage from us. So you guys are wide awake seeing the email, and we're barely waking up. So
yeah, see, my guys they keep hitting refresh, waiting for it to come through. But this is Anton's first year on tour.
Okay, super excited.
Super excited. Really good guy. He actually won the first tournament he played in.
Okay.
He's had a really good year, and I'm so excited. I'm more excited at how excited he is, because these are the things that really kind of for me get me going. Watching these guys and how excited they get and how into the tour and these tournaments they are. And I sent out a text update to all the guys this morning. We got a tournament coming up this coming week, and there's only 2 regionals left. That's it. Mm-hmm. That have openings. One's Kiowa, and the other is French Lick. And by the way, I did already make my arrangements for French Lick. Again, you and I got to talk about how we're going to make that work.
Right.
But so there's only like 70 total slots available for regional. So if anybody wants regional points, you got about 70 spots as of about Monday morning. So you better get on it.
Oh yeah, it's your. I won't say your last chance, but for at least this year, your last chance to even try and get, invitation to national championship.
Exactly. So we've got some really good guests this week. You and I kind of went back and forth with our first guest. They're really doing a phenomenal job in the junior golf space, and I can't wait to talk to them. In our 50th episode, one of the things that both of us kind of highlighted is some of the things that our members are doing golf related outside of the tour, and how important that is, and how we like to highlight that. And so this to me is one of them. They're doing a really good job. So let's go ahead and welcome them in. Our next guests are doing some really, really good things in the junior golf space, raising lots of money, and they're having a lot of success. So let's go ahead and bring in Anthony Coleman and Earl Mason from the St. Louis Tour. Guys, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Tim. Thanks for having us.
Yep. Good morning. Glad to be here.
So you guys are with the St. Louis Tour, and AC, as I was telling you earlier, I was the tour director in St. Louis a few years ago, and I know most of the guys down there, and I love you guys. And I saw this post that Tyler did about you all and what you're doing with junior golf. You were team masters in swingies, and you've partnered with the junior PGA. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing, how much money you've raised. Also talk about your 3 juniors that are ranked in the top 50 in the United States.
Well, I wouldn't say United States. I know they're ranked here in St. Louis, Missouri. That's for sure. So we do travel with them. But just a little history of how this started is that for 42 years, the team masters have been training junior golfers for the next level, maybe not necessarily the PGA, but for whatever great golf opportunity they can find. So in extension from that 42 years, you can see that one of our members who came up when he was 8 years old is now the head golf coach at Lincoln University. His name is Cortland Ware. We also have an Ashley Nix that started when she was 8. She's now the director of First Tee in Dallas, Texas, in that whole region. And so we continually train 8-year-old boys and girls up through 16-year-old boys and girls from start to finish. And we're with them every year. It started out initially, just sort of rough, I guess, 42 years ago. I've been a member for 30 years. But we wanted to improve the quality of the experience for the kids and then also have them begin to compete. And what that means is children have to look the part. Children have to have the right equipment. They have to have the right environment to be successful. There's nothing worse than a child going into a country club that has some 90-year-old clubs, doesn't have a uniform. They don't feel like they belong there. So 5 or 6 years ago, we made a switch. And what that switch was is that we created my company, which is Diversity Golf Marketing Foundation, decided to find those players. So pretty much you consider it that diversity sort of manages the whole team, and the team masters are the coaches that support the kids that are out there. And so from that standpoint, we were able to team up with community organizations that had the kids already versus us going into different schools and finding them one by one. So we decided to work with Matthew Dickey's first at the Boys and Girls Club. And we decided to work with Better Family Life, another huge community organization. And then now the Little Bit Foundation as well, which is a big organization here. And I can tell you a story of why the funding came in is because, I took the kids about 4 years ago to a course, and I won't name the course because it's not necessary, but at that point we didn't have the brand new clubs, and we weren't in all uniform, and my little 12-year-old girl just got hassled and very badly on the golf course as if she didn't belong, and look at those raggedy clubs. Because I used to accept donations from people that just had old clubs in their garage, but I sort of felt like they were just dumping stuff off at the Goodwill. So I determined at that moment that I don't accept that. I don't accept used clubs anymore. If you want to help our kids look the part, be the part, and feel like they're part of it, you can write us a check or you can give us a brand new set of clubs. And so I stand by that today. And that's when everything started pulling off. The Gateway PGA is a huge partner of ours, as is Matthew Dickey and Better Family Life, but many others. And they're coming on strong every month. As it relates, in the last 4 years, we've sent 4 kids to college on their own scholarship. And this year, happy to say that after our Nashville trip, I did get a call from Fisk University, and the head coach wants to speak to one of our seniors about coming there on full scholarship. And he is one of the ones that is winning tournaments here. And of course, we have a 14-year-old that is just incredible, a scratch golfer, and he is winning everywhere, all over the country. And so we're very proud of them. And as I see them grow, I'm looking at every day at my 8 and 9-year-olds to see which one of those are going to step up and be that next player. We don't take a yellow bus and drive them to the golf course and drive them to practice or any of that nature. We felt that the best way to do this was to have 100% parental involvement, 100%. So for every practice, that parent is dropping that child off. For every tournament that we go to, they are driving down to that tournament with us, with their child. We're not babysitters. We're golf instructors. We're financial literacy experts that help the kids. We're behavioral alternative people, and then we're mentors. And a lot of times we're fathers to the kids. That's our philosophy on it. And we're always looking for additional sponsors and things like that. Whereas Earl, on the other hand, he has his own company, coaching firm, Swing Easy, that is growing immensely. And that now all the adults are coming in because the parents of the children that we teach, they really want to learn the game. They want to learn the rules. They want to learn it all. And so I can see it coming full swing. And this weekend here in St. Louis, it's the APGA Tour, the Advocates Professional Golfers Association Tour that's happening at Glen Echo. You know, that has what we call the bowl of all of those minority golfers that are really trying to get onto either the Korn Ferry or the PGA Tour. That thing. So they're all here in town, and all of our kids were out there last night, walking with them, supporting them, and getting them, moving them forward. They'll be out there this afternoon doing the same. And in turn, they're doing a big clinic in Top Golf for all of our kids tomorrow. They want to see who's what and see, you know, where their game is at, but then give them some general instructions and directions to let you know that you can do this. And can we make sure we let our kids know that there are 500 to 600 different types of jobs in golf, and everybody's not going to be a PGA. Right. Everybody's not going to be on the PGA Tour. But if you love the game, you can do something just like what Earl and I are doing, is you can involve yourself in many, many ways. And this is not my real job. This is just my passion. And when I say my passion is that this is what I do for enjoyment so that I can sleep good at night knowing I'm doing this for the kids. Right. It's a big sacrifice. Granted, it's a sacrifice. We have over 65 kids. We teach, 2 to 3 times a week, wow. after work. And, right. But they all got new uniforms. All of them have brand new sets of clubs. All of them have their balls and their gloves, and we make sure they have energy and refreshments and that kind of thing. So it's not just Anthony. It's not just Earl. It's all of us combined with the T-Masters organization that come together to make all of this work. But everyone knows what their job is when it comes to this. And so right. whereas I'm the president of the T-Masters and the diversity, I might bring the decisions, but I'm not the final decision maker. I run it by my vice president, Earl. I run it by many people because I need buy-in on everything we're doing. But our junior golfers are incredible, boys and girls. And we're very proud to work with them.
What you're doing is incredible. And as you know, St. Louis has a rich history in golf that not many people really know about. Like I said in the past, and I wish Chris was here with us. We've talked over and over again, if we don't get younger and more diverse, our game is in trouble. And, providing these opportunities for people that never would have really had this opportunity to be able to grow the game, and seeing them be successful and seeing that light in their eyes and having them get that same passion that we have to play golf, that's something that they can do for their entire life. It's an incredible feeling.
It's funny you bring that up because you can look at some beautiful, beautiful golf courses. Just here in St. Louis, you can look at Norwood Hills, you can look at Glen Echo, and then let's even look at the Masters. So surrounding these beautiful plethoras of green grass and hold this beauty inside these fences. Well, right on the other side of the fence is the neighborhood that all of our kids live in. And it's ironic that all these years, none of them actually even get to see this place that's across the street. They're not allowed to walk inside those gates to see the beauty that's in there. And so what we're doing is we're bringing them into these, or we're bringing them there. We're coaching at these places. Norwood has been so graceful and gracious to allow us to coach there for the last 3 years. Every Wednesday, total use of the facility, total use of the golf course. Those are true partners. Like Forest Park, they are true partners, because why have a community around you and they can't even enjoy some of the splendor of a course like that, or at least see it? And now the kids see it. They're like, oh my God, I had no idea this was across the street. Well, now they have an idea, and you should see the look in their eyes when they see something so beautiful. And we just are that conduit to get them into that organization. And that's why we support the Amateur Tour Golfweek. That's why eight or 9 team masters are part of Golfweek, because it's important that we involve ourselves in things that we might necessarily be involved in. And it's, we don't care about the money. We care about the participation, and that we could meet somebody like you or somebody else or somebody like the Daughtery Company, in which they can help us support our junior golf initiatives and programs.
Right. So you practice every Wednesday. You get all 65 kids there?
Yeah, Mondays and Wednesdays. One team is the Better Family Life team is on Mondays, and that's more of our beginner golfers. if you want to call it that. And Matthew Dickey's team is on Wednesdays at Norwood Country Club, and that's our advanced group of junior golfers.
And so what does practice look like? Range time, putting, chipping, and then on course time?
Yeah, all the above. So like probably the biggest thing we did, Anthony and I, about 5 years ago, and we talked about just making it more structured and just making sure we were giving the kids the best opportunity possible to be good in the game. So organized practices with drills, chipping, putting, on-course time, kind of getting a common philosophy amongst the coaches of like what we're trying to accomplish with the kids and their swings. And man, I'm telling you, these kids have, the swings they have after just playing 2-3 years is amazing. I mean, we got kids who are handicap golfers in 2 years' time, several of them.
They haven't had time to build bad habits like we have.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's done mainly through drills and just, really just the watchful eye of somebody, watching them practice and stuff. So that helps a lot, and it goes a long way.
So that's the mentoring part of it. They get used to seeing Earl every Monday at the course and Wednesday. They get used to seeing those coaches. And so we love that about it, because now all of a sudden we are much more than coaches to many of these kids, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They look forward to seeing this. And quite frankly, most of their mothers are bringing them out there. So they really like it when they see us and they expect us to be there, and we don't let them down unless it's above 95 degrees. And then if it's above 95, obviously, we have a rule. No, we're not taking our kids out there to have heat strokes and that kind of thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, when we were younger, that wasn't a rule. Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
A great iron set needs more than good looks. It's got to be fast and got to be pure. But good looks never hurt either. The all-new ZX Mark II irons from Srixon.
Yeah, we invite our kids out, even for our more advanced kids. We invite them out for our weekend games with our club. And these guys compete like AC saying, the young kid, our 14-year-old kid, participated in our tournament. I believe he came in like 4th place.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
I mean, you talking about guys who play mini tours. We got some really good golfers coming in town for our tournament from all over the country. This kid came in 4th place.
It's awesome to see. I love it when kids come out and do really well. Some of the older guys, get upset about it. And I say, look, dude, this is the future. And if he's doing this at 14 or 12, 14, 15, 16 years old, just think about the future for that individual, male or female, right?
Male, just going into the 9th grade and that good. 9th grade. That's amazing. And his parents, he was one of the kids that went out of town with us to Nashville. And so how advanced more that we're doing is we're going to be traveling with our kids now. And why is that important? Well, because we know for a fact that many of these kids and their parents don't get a summer break. Right. They don't get to go to Florida. They don't get to go to all these different places. And so we organize a trip not only for fellowship, but also for the parents to have a getaway, and the kids can say, hey, what did you do over the summer? Oh, my God, I went to Nashville. I participated in this golf tournament. Now, all of a sudden, by them saying that the first day of school, because that's always, remember those questions? What did you do over the summer? And so now they will get more of their friends involved, and that's what we love to see. It was great. 20 kids, all their parents, 3 days down there at the Ted Rhodes. And we made each of them write an essay about who Ted Rhodes was. And Ted Rhodes was a pioneer in the golfing industry. He paved the way. He was the first Black PGA player, and he paved the way. But don't get it confused with us. We don't care what race the child is. We don't care if it's a boy or girl, it's green or orange. If they need us and they want to join the team, we will allow them on the team, because we're not getting hung up in those kind of things by any means. Okay.
And I'm really glad you said that, because we had, I'm a tour director in Atlanta right now, and we had a tournament last week, and we had this discussion. I said, look, guys, we're not talking about all this other crap. People don't come here for that. They come here to play golf for the fun, the fellowship, the camaraderie. This is the one day, the one time of the week where we can just come and not worry about any of that stuff. So I don't care what you believe, what color, just like you guys, I really don't care.
Right.
Like for me, whether it's here or golf course, but when we're specifically at the golf course for tournament day, we're not doing that at all.
We're a firm believer in that, believer. And we know everybody's not an athlete. And so that's why we have Forest Park, where we're not taking the child over to Norwood and kick until they can get the ball in the air. We have stop sets. And all the coaches know. All the coaches know when it's time to move them over. And I'll just walk over to their parents and go, hey, by the way, your son or your daughter, we're going to move them to Norwood, start effective immediately. Then that's when they get more advanced. Right. And Norwood's members really like us there. Our kids have hit off for the Ascension tournament for the last 3 years, been the lead ball striker. And so we're very involved with some really good sponsors. We really need more sponsors. The needs for the kids grow. And I'll give you a perfect example, Tim, is that my 8 and 9-year-old, I can get the junior clubs, and those are donated by many just wonderful groups out there. But now in 9th grade, something happens, and what happens? They get this growth spurt. Now they're 5'6", and they need 5'8", 5'9". They need adult clubs at that point, and that's where the sponsorship dollars come in, because those are the clubs that we have to have for them to grow. And that's what I do on a continual basis, is to find that's not even perfect sponsor, but that sponsor to help us with just that situation.
Right. How did you end up generating the $80,000 and pictures with Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watts?
Yeah, well, that's a good one. We were honored at the Legends Breakfast, the Ascension Legends Breakfast. And they featured our kids, and Tom and Jack Nicklaus were there as the featured speakers. They donated clubs to us, amongst other things. And, I think I have a written agreement where I won't discuss amounts of things of that nature. But I'd like to say that many of the companies in there were very generous to our cause, especially the Gateway PGA, especially Ozzie Smith's Foundation and others. So we make enough to really provide for what the kids need. Those needs change annually. I mean, now that we're traveling, those needs drastically change. And so my due diligence from the Diversity Golf Foundation is to find those sponsors and then assist the team masters in making sure that we have everything we need to get the kids trained properly. Right. Everything we need. Right. Okay. So it's no worry on the parents and no worry on the kids itself.
These individuals, as they get older, are you finding that they're helping in some mentoring form for the younger players coming up, kind of passing that on?
Oh, guaranteed, for sure. I mean, well, the ones that are really good, they sort of help us coach, and the kids love to see another kid who can really hit the ball coach. We have Prince Thomas. He quit the Clayton High School football team to come be, to come play with us and enjoy. He was a starting quarterback, for Christ's sake. But and even from there, one of the athletic directors from that same school, her son's on our team. And so what we're finding is that our golfers will be out anywhere, and we play every course in St. Louis. But if we find a kid that we know is in that 8 to 14-year-old range, our first question is, what team do you play for? If they don't have a team, I'm looking for their mother and father, and we're going to bring them right to our team and help them get developed and help them find a home before they lose interest. Because a kid that's 9, 10, 11, if they don't have another friend or person they can play with, they'll lose interest.
Absolutely.
When they come to us, they have this family of golfers, and we know they'll stay.
Yeah, this is really awesome. And I don't want to gloss over some of the other things that you all are doing, but you all are, like you said earlier, you all are also competing. And it's also good for them, for the youngsters to see that as well, because this is a game, and we all know this, that we can play till we're 70, 80 years old, God willing, as long as he lets us play, right? Sometimes it's, for most of us, right, it's a lifelong sport. For some people, it's a means to an end. For some people, it's a way to make a living. Those are few and far between. But for the majority of us, it's a lifelong sport, endeavor, et cetera. And you all just played a couple weeks ago, and Earl, you just won a tournament last week.
Yep.
And got,
I think I've won 4 times this year.
That's awesome.
I've won 4 times this year. Yep. So it was time.
He's finally out of my flight, so I might get a chance now.
See, for me as a tour director, I love it when guys get bumped up a flight, because that means that they're getting better.
Yep.
Right? I mean, you guys, there's some guys, they bitch, moan, and complain. Oh man, I got bumped up. You should be happy.
I'm excited.
You're getting better.
And the same
right?
thing in the next flight. I'm excited.
Yeah. And actually, that A flight in St. Louis that's a pretty good flight.
Oh yeah.
You got Albert. I mean, Delamar. I mean,
you got some long ball hitters in there. Yeah, you got some long ball hitters in there.
JC can play. I mean, I know a lot of these guys. I mean,
they're all
team masters. Three team masters have won the A flight this year.
That's awesome.
3 different team masters. So all the team masters have wins on the term. So yeah, I mean, every week is a tournament for us. We play Saturday golf, travel different terms all around the country. 4 or 5 tournaments all around, and we do our amateur stuff. And so we love it, and we chase tournaments for sure, and we chase just competing every week. We love it. So
that's awesome. And I really love what you guys are doing. Keep up the good work. Tell everybody in St. Louis I said hi. Colin Dooley, I don't know if you ever hang out with Colin. If you want to laugh for like an hour straight, hang out with Colin Dooley. He's in the D flight, and he actually won a couple weeks ago too.
Okay.
He may also be somebody who you may want to talk to in terms of helping you all out. I'll call him and tell him I told him that.
Yeah. So we actually got a couple guys from Atlanta. So we've been talking about coming up there and participating too. So FYI, you might be hearing from us up there.
Anytime you want, you're always welcome. All right, guys.
I was just going to say, we do have a website. Someone wanted to reach out to us. I'll provide it to you, but my phone number, if it's okay, I can give that. And somebody wanted to talk more about that, they could. My phone number is 314-437-1906. And I'm the president of the Team Masters. If they want to talk to us about any kind of foundations or funding or helping out with the kids, I'd love to speak with them about that. And thank you for having us.
I'll put all that stuff in the show notes for everybody. I'll make sure that we get that out and get it promoted for you. All right, guys.
Perfect.
Thanks so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. I love what you all are doing, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yep. Thanks, Tim. All right. Have a good day. All right. See ya.
Have a great day. Take care, buddy.
I want to thank AC and Earl for coming in and spend some time with us. What they're doing in St. Louis and helping these kids and really growing the game is really important, and they're doing a phenomenal job. But we also need to thank Tyler Cardwell, the tour director, for highlighting what they're doing and bringing it to everybody's attention. Tyler's doing a great job in St. Louis, and there's good things going on there. But as we've talked about before, over and over again, we really have to get more diverse and younger for the game of golf and for tournament golf, like what we're doing to be sustainable. And again, I really love seeing kids do well. Having a 14-year-old being a 4 handicap or a single digit handicap, to me, that's one of the best things in the world. We've had with the tour a history of kids, coming to national championship and doing really well. When I was a DC tour director, we had a 12-year-old who finished tied for first in the A flight. I lost the playoff on a technicality, and that is what it is. And a couple of years ago, we had a 70-year-old win the A flight, and then the next year we had another 12-year-old, I think he was 12, who won the A flight national championship. And there's kids all over the country playing on the tour, and to me that's really, really, really great. It's good for them, it's good for the tour, and it's good for golf. But again, back to AC and Earl, guys, keep up the good work and let us know if there's anything we can do to help. And let's highlight some of these kids. They're doing great. But now let's transition and talk to rules and head over and talk to Roger, because we're still dealing with how to play the ball out of penalty area. So let's go and talk to Roger and see what he's got to say. Roger, we didn't have you for a little bit, and I think people have lost their minds. Just over the last couple of weeks, in text messages back and forth between you, Chris, and I, we've all seemed to have had the same issues with one ruling, and that's where you can take a drop for a hazard.
Yep, for penalty errors. I know you meant to say that.
Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
ZX Mark II drivers are for major players, major winners, major power. All new ZX Mark II drivers, only from Srixon.
I did. It's frustrating sometimes. And why do you think people have so much trouble with this?
You know, the rule has not really changed at all in many, many years. And I think it's just a misunderstanding. And, you know, it's hard to put a finger on it because it's been the same rule for so long that you'd think that folks would have the correct ruling by that. But I guess they never get down to the last option. And that's the one that always throws people off. And that's that third option. Yep.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, in the text message that you and I had in a tournament where I had a player and the course pro tell me that I was wrong and that they had done away with the equidistant rule. And I'd never heard of that. What is the equidistant rule? Or what,
right.
What was it?
Yeah. So actually it is still a rule, but now it's a local rule. So it's not, unless it's instituted as a local rule. And that's, you know, I always say when we do these interviews that I'm assuming there are no local rules, and there's so many local rules. So it used to be part of the regular rule, like it was one of the options. So an equidistant option, what you want to think about that is drawing an arc from the hole itself to where your ball crossed into the penalty area. And then let's say we're going to use, and this is usually used for a water hazard, like a pond or a lake or whatever it might be. You keep that arc going to the other side of the water area. And where is that, you know, that same arc, you know, that circle, whatever you want to call it, you could drop on the other side of the penalty area at the same equidistant spot. And that is a local rule still. And think about this, like I was thinking of a place at my course. You tee off and you hit a ball so far left over the penalty area, and then it goes into the penalty area, the pond. Well, if you use the equidistant rule, you could still drop on your side of, say, the fairway or the penalty area, as opposed to having to cross over, like go into the other adjoining fairway and drop on that spot. And this is a hard one to explain without like seeing a picture of it.
Right.
But the equidistant rule is one of those where you draw an arc and you're allowed to drop on the other side of the penalty area, usually a pond, lake, or ditch, where it's the same distance from the hole as where it actually went in. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even sure why I even brought it up, because now we're going to confuse people even more, because we don't use that at all.
Right. We don't have it as part of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It'd have to be instituted. It'd have to be on the card as a local rule that's in place.
Right. And then I guess more, I'm just saying this off the top of my head, more than likely individual tour director would say that's out anyway. And we're going to do the normal stuff.
Yeah.
So can you go through and explain the options that we have?
So penalty area, that falls under Rule 17. And you've got red penalty areas marked with red stakes and yellow penalty areas. And if a penalty area is not marked, let's say it's a pond, ditch, and it's not marked at all, the rules, and this is in the book, you have to assume it's a red penalty area. So I did just want to start off with that. So your first option is to play it as it lies and without a penalty stroke within the penalty area. And you don't get a penalty stroke. But the reason I mention that, new golfers and even people that are on there, they know this as a penalty area. So they think, well, number one, I can't play it out of there. It's a penalty area. And that's not true. You can play it out of the penalty area. No penalty. And the other thing on that is people say, well, it's a penalty area. Aren't I going to get a penalty stroke even if I play it out of there? Like, am I penalized for being in there? And the answer to that is no, you can play it as it lies. And I know that might seem obvious to a lot of us that are experienced golfers, but I've gotten that question numerous times from new golfers because it says penalty area. So you think, okay, there's a penalty. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So your first option is to, so this is under, again, rule 17.1, and then you have a couple of options. So red and yellow. Okay. Stroke and distance. That's your first option, or whether it's in a red or yellow penalty area. And that basically just means you take a penalty spot, stroke, and you go back to where you originally played that ball. And if that ball happened to be from the tee box, you can tee it up again. No, but you're under 1 stroke penalty. If you hit that ball from the fairway or the rough, you go back to that spot. And if you don't know the identical spot, you estimate it and you drop there under 1 stroke penalty. So that's red and yellow. Second option, back on the line relief. That's the thing where I always say, and this is the one that you texted me about, back on the line relief. That's for red or yellow, yellow or red. You can do that with red as well. And that's the one that throws people off, that you can still use back on the line relief for a red penalty area. The only thing about if you do that, you can't drop your ball within the same penalty area. Let's say it's a curvy penalty area, something like that. You can't drop within the same pair, but you can go back as far as you like. And that's back on the line relief, it's called. And that's the thing where I always say, and I think it's just easy to picture, tie a rope around the bottom of the hole, back through where your ball last entered the penalty area, and go back on that line, on that string, as far as you like. You could go back 5 yards, you can go back 50 yards, you can go back 200 yards if you want, and find yourself the best spot. A lot of players use that because they have, they like to play from a certain distance. So they might like to play from 100 yards. So they find a spot 100 yards behind that penalty area. Or they, 150 yards. That's their favorite shot. So you're allowed to do that totally within the rules. Another example I've given, you might have 5 yards from where it went in that penalty area back on the line relief. But maybe that 5 yards is on a deep slope, severely sloped. So maybe you go back 25 yards and it's on a nice flat place in the fairway. So that's totally within the rules. People say, "Oh, you're taking advantage of the rules." No, you know the rules and use them as they are written. So that's totally within the rules. And then our third option, and this is for red penalty areas only, is lateral relief. And that's 2 club lengths from where it entered the penalty area. So you get 2 club lengths, no closer to the hole. But a lot of people ask me, well, why is there even that rule? And I was thinking about this, and I'm thinking of a hole that most of us know, Hilton Head, number 18 at Harbor Town. You tee off, it's the ocean on your left, the whole side, right?
Right.
So how can you use back on the line relief? Basically, what would that be? You'd have to drop in England, I guess. If you wanted to go behind that water hazard, there's no place to drop behind the water hazard,
right?
Behind that penalty area. Think of a course at your home course. Maybe there's a wide river or whatever. You can't drop behind that penalty area. There's no place. So other than stroke and distance, and if you just hit the ball 250 yards up into that penalty area, you don't want to go back 250 yards. So you find the place where it last entered the penalty area, and you get 2 club length relief laterally if it's a red penalty stake.
Yeah.
So, yep. So your options are play it as it lies, stroke and distance, back on the line relief, or for a red penalty area, 2 club length lateral hazard relief. Those are your options.
I'm glad you explained it that way because, when I texted you that scenario, the back on line relief wasn't an option where we were. It wasn't an option pretty much on any hole. And I said that, and then I was getting a pushback from it. And I said, first off, let's not even bother talking about it because nobody's going to use that.
Yeah.
Let's just line up and go. I don't know if I told you, but the very next day, the player who was challenging me on that came back to me and told me again that I was wrong.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And I showed him the USGA app has a diagram in there.
Right.
And I actually pulled up the diagram and he looked at it and says, I don't think that's right.
Oh, that.
And he was a former
pretty tough.
he's a former rules official.
Oh golly,
I know,
that's really bad.
I'm just showing you. I don't. If you don't understand, I can't. I don't know what to tell you.
Feel free to put him in touch with Roger. I'll help him out. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people, so we use penalty areas for a lot more than just water now. And I think, a good example is big woods.
Right.
There's no way you're going to want to go back on the line relief into the woods. That's why you really need to pick one of the other options.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and then last week,
it's probably the number one question I get asked over and over and over.
Yeah. And last week, Chris has texted us about blue stakes. I'm like,
oh yeah. I did find some posts on blue, like it's often used for ground under repair or something, but there's nothing in the rules about blue, not formally about blue stakes that you could use. Yeah.
I thought he was messing with us at first.
Right. There actually were posts about it, but it's just like somebody wants to use blue stakes. That's up to them for that kind of thing, but there's nothing in the rules about blue stake.
Right. It could be a Texas thing. I don't know. But anyway, So you went to play and got rained out. What happened there?
I did, yeah. And then they rescheduled it. It was a big tournament. So I think they had like 168, a morning shotgun and an afternoon shotgun, but they did reschedule for the next Friday.
Okay.
And I'm happy to say I didn't come in last place, but I came close. I'm waiting for my handicap to go up so I can switch flights. But it was still it ended up being a real nice day the next Friday that we played.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was good.
Have you played other than that?
Just playing my regular Friday night league and Tuesday night league. And Tuesday night we're in third place out of 12 teams. And we've got the funny thing is the team that's in fourth place, which we might play in like the playoffs, is all made up of tour players, like our Golfweek Amateur Tour players. So that's going to be great because my team is just, it's eight or 10 guys that are just random guys. So we're out to get them, I hope.
That's awesome though. I mean,
it's all match play. There are different forms of match play. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I really do like playing match play, when I was playing it, because that to me is, you can have a bad hole and it's okay. You just get it back on the next one. So I really like that.
For sure. Yeah. While we're on that real fast, and we won't extend this too long. So something did come up in the last time, and then it came up twice. So I will say this Tuesday night league, we do play by the rules, but it's friendly competition.
Right.
So we don't really, you can enforce some things. So we had a player that we conceded, both the opposing team, they both had basically the same putt. And one guy could have given a read to the guy that was a little closer. But if a team concedes the farther away putt, they cannot play that ball anymore. He's not allowed to putt. Once you concede it, if it gives the other team an advantage. And in this case, the second player would have seen the line if he proceeded to putt.
Uh-huh.
And that came up twice. And I was asked that after the round by another group. I said, we conceded the putt and then he still played it. I said, yeah, that's not allowed. Or if he does putt it, that player's putt is what's going to count. And the other player's ball would not count. And it's only if the other player can gain an advantage. And the example I'm giving, he's getting an advantage because he sees the line of the putt.
Right.
So that's kind of a good one to know.
That is.
It's a serious competition. So I will play that. I will enforce that rule against the other tour group next week if we're playing with the playoff. Don't you worry, Mike Grant, Andy Grant.
So they're put on notice.
That's right. Put them on.
So you playing any other tour events coming up soon?
Yeah, I'm going to play both. I got 2 tour events. We're doing back-to-back single-day events in a couple of weeks. So I've signed up for both of those. And those are the 2 last single-day events before our tour has their season finale.
That's awesome.
So, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's August already and the season's just about over.
I know. Yeah, can't believe it. Yeah. I'm glad I played some other events, and I'm playing a couple of benefit events coming up too. So those are coming up as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to my back-to-back events.
Awesome. All right, Roger. Thanks so much for educating us again, and I'm hoping that this will be the last time we have to talk about this. But my guess is we'll be revisiting this soon.
I think you're right about that. Thank you, Tim. Thanks very much.
All right, bud. Take
Always
care.
Appreciate it. All right,
Bye-bye.
bye now.
All right, Chris. I'm again. Roger does a phenomenal job of making things simple and easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I never should have even asked that first question about what the equidistant rule is. I'm sure all that's going to do is confuse people. So that's on me. But again, even Roger did a great job, explaining that as well. And I'm really hoping that this is the last time that we have to have this discussion on how to play penalty areas.
It may be the last time. But I think it's something that we always need to revisit, because if we don't, people are going to always ask us questions. Even I feel like I get more questions about the color of the stakes from champ and A flighters than I do from B, C, and D. I mean, it's nonstop with these guys. And they're the ones that you would think would play more golf or know more rules.
You would think that they would know it. But you play these courses that have, funky colored stakes. I mean, you played a course with blue stakes a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Yeah, at our 2-day major, we played a course where, we're almost done with this round, okay? We're on the third to last hole in a shotgun start. And I know this group's right in front of us too, which is crazy because nobody else texts me all day long about this. I got a text that says, hey, there's blue stakes on the left side of hole, I think it was hole number 3, where the maintenance carts are, where the maintenance area is. What do we play it as? I'm like, what do you mean blue stakes? They're like, yeah, like blue stakes. Never seen it before in my life. They're not white, they're not yellow, they're not red. I'm like, well, I end on that hole, so I'll have to look at it when I get there. And then they proceed to say, okay, well, we were just curious because we called the course and they said it was out of bounds. So they already knew the ruling.
So why are you calling me?
Right. And I said, okay, well, in that case, play 2 balls. We'll figure it out in 10 minutes when I'm done with my round. And sure enough, I drive up there, and I hit my ball to the right, so I wasn't going to go there, but I go, hey, drive to the left real quick. I kind of want to see these blue stakes. Yeah. We drive over there, and clearly you can tell it's OB. There's a huge shed.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an open area, right? There's no fence, but there's blue stakes. A huge warehouse for the maintenance carts and the tractors and all of that. And I'm like, come on, guys. Like, you really asked me this question? So we finished the round and we go back in. And I can't even get off my cart quick enough for them to run up to me and ask me what the ruling is. And I'm like, well, the course told you it's out of bounds. I'm going to say it's out of bounds because it's the maintenance area. And he's like, okay, cool. Because it's going to change it from a birdie to a double bogey. I'm like, well, sorry. It's day 1. Nothing I can do about it. And they're like, okay, so you're sure? I'm like, well, yeah. And the course said that. And when you Google blue stakes, even AI was confused on what blue stakes were in golf. So we're going to go ahead and go with out of bounds. So that was that. But blue stakes, I never thought I'd have. And then to make it even funnier is later on we're talking about it, or we're all sitting down. You know how you sit down with your members and you chit chat and whatever. And 2 C fighters were like, yeah, we went in there and we figured it was blue stakes. Or figured it was out of bounds because it was the maintenance area. So we went back and hit. I'm like, why? Why are my C fighters here like okay with it, and my A fighters are like, well, what is it actually?
Well, because
blue stakes.
They didn't want to take the double bogey, is what it is.
Probably, and they wanted the skin because it was a hard hole. But so then I text 2 very wise gentlemen and ask them, hey, have you ever heard of blue stakes? And one of them says, what do you say? I think it's for werewolves, or it might be vampires. And I was like, well, that answers that question.
What did I say? Oh my goodness, what I
That's
said.
exactly what you said.
I said, I think blue stakes are for vampires, maybe werewolves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I immediately responded with that. So that's a no.
Sorry,
But
man.
I mean, well, no, but like I said, I think, it's great that we're touching it now, but it might be a quarterly thing where you have to bring it up because people forget, and it gets hot out there. I understand. You're thirsty. You're tired. It's the easiest way to just ask, unless it's red, white, or yellow. Probably out of bounds.
Yeah, and when you text me, we were literally just wrapping up, and I just got in the car to head home from tournaments.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, well, hopefully that's settled now, and they, these guys will pass along. Blue stakes is out of bounds, but seriously though, the how to play penalty areas is one of the most basic things that guys should know. And what I'm going to do in the show notes is I'm going to post the picture that's in the USGA rule book for, that really does it's a visual, and hopefully that can aid people.
Right. And I think at this point, we have technology with us that we could look it up pretty quickly. But I think if just having, either knowing the rule or having a rules book in your bag sometimes just helps go a long ways.
Exactly. And again, you don't have to, if you're not really sure, it doesn't have to be an argument on the course either.
Right. Just announce I'm playing 2 balls. Here's what my second ball marking is, and
play on.
90% of the time, it's going to be the same score, which is outrageous how that happens.
Right. Unless it's a double bogey or a birdie. I mean,
unless it's that, yeah. Yeah.
So
what are the odds?
But so here, now I'm thinking about it. If it's a hard hole, he hit it way over there. How in God's name did he make birdie from that?
It's a par 5.
Well,
it must have been an impressive shot.
Had to have been.
For a tap-in birdie.
Maybe his third shot wasn't really good.
Right.
Anyway. Well, that's that. So let's, there's always something. Let's talk about Mick. Because Mick is, we're actually recording this portion of it on Saturday. And Mick sent me a text that they're on their way to another tournament today. So we're going to have 2 Mick updates in this episode. Mick, he's just got to do better.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 1 so far since our last episode.
Yeah. So they went down to the regional in Virginia Beach, which again, if you've not ever been and played that course, that's something you should be thinking about for next year. But his crew went down there and Mick won. I mean, if that's what we're going to go with.
I mean, technically, yes, he is the winner, but not of the tournament.
No. I told him, I said, number one, you're going to run out of wall space.
Yeah.
And you got to give other people a chance to win the flag. I mean, you can't win all of them.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a great idea, but I would be so crushed if I keep winning as much as he is. Like, well, at one point, is it going to be, if I have too many flags, like, let's share the wealth.
Exactly.
And see, now it's making me feel bad because since we've had him on, he's 3 for 4. So I don't want him to think that we're the bad luck.
Well, I don't know. He, in the video he sent on his way to the course with the guys, they're predicting their scores, and he predicted he's going to have the highest score. So I don't know if he's planning this, or
who knows,
or what. But Mick, you got to do better, bud. Let somebody else win the flags.
He understands his body too well.
Okay, that could be. We'll go with that. Go ahead and play the recording from the regional.
Hey, Tim and Chris. This is Mick after Sean Ferris and Phil Shaw from the Columbus Tour. Just finished up the Virginia regional, national, 2-day event, great people. And of course, there's a flag. Fucking Mick won the fucking flag by one stroke. I shouldn't say fucking. Mick won the flag by one stroke. Sean,
I beat him by 1, and Phil beat us both by 4.
And then we'll play the recording for today.
Tim, Chris, this is Mick and the crew from Columbus. And we finished up our round in Denison. Mick did not win the flag. Sean, did you win the flag?
I didn't win the flag.
Sean came in second place. Phil, did you win the flag?
No, I did not.
But Phil, what should we do?
Eat more walleye.
Charlie won the flag. You did.
One thing I think we need to do, at National Championship at Thursday for registration is we need to get their whole crew, have that whole crew.
That'd be fun. And maybe we'll just get a flag for Mitch and just say, hey, just in advance, you can focus on your round. Let's just give it to you now. I mean, if he keeps up with the trend, there's nothing we can do about it at that point.
Yeah. So after today, they've only got 3 tournaments left. They've got a 2-day at Cumberland Trail on August 24th, 25th. Then they're at Darby Creek on September 8th, and they close out at Jefferson Golf Country Club on September 23rd. So good for them.
I mean, the only one that he didn't win the flag, he won the tournament.
Yes. Yes. So he's winning.
He's winning each event, but we need to go on the higher end of that win.
So let's talk about the shirt contest. We've got voting for July ends here and on the 15th. Yep. August is the last month. So if you haven't submitted your shirts for August yet, please do that. We're down to last 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks to submit, and then there's going to have to be a quick turnaround on the August voting and getting them up.
I agree.
So the August voting, and then you and I ranking. Yeah.
Right. Maybe for the August we do something crazy and random draw, or you and me pick the August winner.
Nah, let's let them vote. I mean, we've got.
You know me, I throw wrenches in everything.
Yeah. Let's let them vote.
It'll have to be a quick vote, and then it'll be like 1 week per round for voting.
Yeah, that's for the bracket style. Yeah, it's gonna have to be 1 week.
So you're gonna have to be active on social media and sharing posts and getting people to like it, and all of that good stuff.
Yep, absolutely. So get them in, and for the July shirt contest, we got a lot of entries.
We do, which was great to see. I think I texted you one night randomly and was just shocked on how much we had for that.
Right. And we've got.
I mean, we do have some familiar faces on there, but it's just good to see some new faces out there.
Exactly, like seeing it. Let's just say Roger. So outside of Christian and Shaggy, Mitch Betters has submitted before, which is good. Mick, here's what I don't understand. We talk about Mick a lot, and he's not getting very many votes. Maybe people think he has flags he doesn't need.
Right.
Doesn't need shirts too. But anyway, you got Stephanie's one of yours put in a shirt. But Roger, right now, of the new entries, Roger's leading everybody from the new entry, which is good.
Maybe people are mad at him because he's a rules guy and he's giving us all the rules.
Maybe.
But, I mean, and honestly, like I've looked at the other people's pages and they're promoting it and asking people to vote for them. So it's good to see because it's getting some traction out there.
Yeah, it's good to see. I like Stephanie's shirt, and she's with Cal when you guys were up at Tupac.
Yep, Tupac Shakur.
But you got to tell your brother, full body shirts, full body. I got to tell Mitch the same thing. Roger, people don't want to see your face; they want to see the shirt.
His arms aren't long enough to make a full body.
Oh, but one of the things I did at our last tournament, I'd tell you this: the guys that who I thought had good shirts, I just took pictures. I said, "Look here, let me take a picture, take a group shot." I sent it to them. I sent them the link and said, "Here, submit this. You want to win free entry."
Spice it up already.
Get them going, man.
Well, we already have one entry for August.
Do we?
And I'm curious on if those are margaritas or lemonade, or if I'm just have issues that I need to get addressed.
No, could be.
Could be what?
Yes, margaritas, and you need. Oh, that's the one I took. That's Steve. That is margaritas with lemons. I think it's both.
I do like the green shorts though.
So, what kind of tournaments you got going on?
This month I have 2 single day events. One of them at one of my favorite courses in town, and another one at a semi-private course in Las Cruces. And then we head out to TPC, and I come back and do my tour final at 2 of the toughest desert courses in the area.
Okay.
So, being that I am a tour of two cities that are literally 30 miles apart, maybe, I felt this year, and I'm trying something new, and hopefully it catches, that I do day 1 in El Paso and day 2 in Las Cruces.
Okay.
Or vice, next year it'll flip, right? And it doesn't give the advantage to just the El Paso guys if it's just both days El Paso or the Las Cruces guys. Like it makes you have to figure out what you're gonna do that night in between.
Right.
So we'll see how people like it or not. I mean, if you don't like it and B-Flight, don't come because I need the points. But no, I'm just kidding. Come to the event, have fun. We'll have a good time at it's called Red Hawk Golf Club, which is usually in the top 3 in the state.
Okay.
For public courses. Tough course, very tough. And then that'll be it for the season. I can't believe it's already the end of the season.
I know.
Like it's as us when we're putting in registrations and all that, and the beginning of the season, you just see the list and you're like, okay, it's as you keep going, it's kind of hard to find the tournaments because they get all scrambled in there, and at the end you just scroll all the way down and like, all right, here we go.
Exactly.
And we're at that point now where I can't believe it's already the end of the season. I don't want it to be the end of the season, but it is what it is. I'm just looking for the end of the season and then nationals, and then there's gonna be a lot of fun things this off season that I can't wait to announce to my guys.
Okay. Well, awesome.
A couple different things, once each month,
There you go. Keep them on their
Keep them
toes.
engaged.
Exactly.
Yep.
As always, guys, thanks so much for all the support and listening. If you have any questions or have a story you want to tell everybody, shoot us an email, or, you can hit that button on the website and it sends a message directly to us. And you can email me at timnatc@amateurgolftour.net, or Chris
At El Paso at amateurgolftour.net.
Awesome. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, download, and leave us a review. The reviews and the 5 stars really kind of help us, and growing the podcast. But again, thanks so much for everything that you all do. And I guess we'll talk to you next time. Anything else, Chris?
Yeah. No, I mean, have fun out there. Remember your hazard stakes and what they mean. And all those fails, play 2 balls.
That's it.
Let your directors figure it out at the end of your round.
All right, buddy. You take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Chris, we didn't do it again.
What didn't we do?
We didn't say how to join the tour.
That's right. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.